Hey up guys, this man back at it again for a brand new Horizons review. Now, I really like this episode, so let's just get right into the review. Make sure you guys like, subscribe for more content in the future. Leave a comment about your thoughts on this episode too. So yeah, let's get right into the review. With that quick intro out of the way, this episode starts off with Dot and Tinkatongue, which is kind of nice to see after last episode that they're still running around, still has the mic, and it's funny to see Murdoch's reaction to this. But yeah, then we get a scene of Liko washing Hatena and Terrapagos while Sprigatito watches in jealousy, somewhat jealousy. This is interesting because we all know Sprigatito could easily get in this bath, but because it's a cat, it doesn't like to be bathed, and I like this. And I think it's kind of funny. I like that, like, throughout the entirety of Horizons, no matter what, Sprigatito just sticks to its cat-like nature, lays around all day, prefers to not be bathed, and just tries to avoid all that. And I really love that. While avoiding the bath, it notices the old daycare it was born at, and we'll get into this later. But that's when Roy asks Liko for a battle, so the two battle. Okay. This is where the one thing I get annoyed with. We know that Liko has really only 3 moves: Scratch, Quick Attack, and Leafage, and we see it get used. And we know Roy recently learned Disarming Voice. But why is Roy using Ember instead of Flamethrower? Flamethrower would be way more useful in this scenario, but yeah, he's still using Ember. Makes me think, did he get rid of Ember for Disarming Voice? I hope not. Ember was actually a really good move compared to freaking Ember. Like, please use Ember, Roy. Like, I'm tired of this stupid. Please use Flamethrower, Roy. I'm tired of Ember and Leafage, and hopefully, now that Sprigatito learned a new move at the end of the episode, we won't be seeing Leafage anymore. Please, please, I am so tired of the overpowered Leafage. Please, please, no more. This battle gets interrupted when the child Terrapagos and Scaredy Cat Hatena accidentally get too close, and when Sprigatito's Leafage is going to hit them, Liko steps in the way and gets injured. Now, we see her getting treated by Molly, and Sprigatito feels so bad that she runs off back to her old home. This also gets explained later on why it would do this, and why it would distance itself from Liko after hurting it. I also like that it was Ludlow who noticed it running off, and when Liko goes to look for it, Ludlow gives her the advice and tells her when to go. But with Liko injured, we see her wearing this, like, brace. I gotta say, this made me really think Liko should have gloves. Liko and Roy would look so cool with gloves. In my honest opinion, Ash had a really good design in Journeys and Sun and Moon, but, like, I just really think it was missing gloves. Classic Ash always had those nice gloves, and I just think trainers, especially like the younger trainers that we like to focus on, if they have gloves, I feel like it adds a lot to their design, and I just think gloves are really cool. Especially in Paldea, because we see characters like Nimona with those, like, gauntlet-like looking gloves to help her with throwing because she has a problem throwing Pokeballs. And I just think it would be cool if we see, like, Liko and Roy with those kinds of, like, gloves. But yeah, Liko goes looking for Sprigatito and tells Hatena and Terrapagos to stay put, and puts Hatena in charge. That's great. Hatena's development is really coming a long way. But yeah, Liko arrives to the breeder, and she learns that it is a cat Pokemon breeder, and is actually the breeder who originally took care of Sprigatito and gave it to Liko. Because she actually recognizes Liko, which is definitely interesting. It's revealed that the reason she knew who Liko was is when the teacher first met with all the students to help them pick their starter, she actually was along there helping the starters. I actually like this bit of lore that, because we weren't really explained to us whether these students got to pick their starter or it was just randomly assigned to them. But seeing here that Liko got to meet with her teacher ahead of time and choose Sprigatito definitely is really good insight. It also, like, helps to think, also helps with stuff like, we know that she is Sprigatito fan, like, for Needlefing's comment, so it's definitely cool to see that that name definitely probably existed before she got Sprigatito, and she's just always loved Sprigatito. Oh, nice. But yeah, Sprigatito is being distant from Liko as Liko tries to embrace it and tell her she's okay. And that's when the daycare attendant takes her aside and tells her the story of Sprigatito. Sprigatito was once this lazy, isolated Sprigatito compared to all the other ones, and who preferred not to be social. But one day, a Sprigatito got in trouble, so it sprung into action and helped it with its super powerful leafage. That made Sprigatito a kind of role model for all the other Pokemon at the daycare, so they'd all follow it around and try to be as strong as it. Then, one day, because of Sprigatito's actions, they accidentally get attacked by Spidops, and when Sprigatito fails to save them, they all start to resent it. And I think that's interesting that they also point out the detail from like the first episode that when Liko was first commanding Leafage, Sprigatito was a little hesitant to use it. I definitely do not think that's what their intention was. Even as an audience, we always thought it was just, oh, this sent Sprigatito the first time Liko's commanding it, it was like, oh, what? Would you want me to do this? But no, it's because it's scared to use its move, because last time it used that move, it put all of its friends in danger. And now that it hurt Liko using its leafage, Sprigatito is just all upset and scared that Liko is going to resent it and feel it and betray her like her old leafage friends or her old daycare friends did. And I also think it's interesting that we've gotten a couple episodes where Sprigatito feels like left out compared to Terrapagos and Hatena. Even at the beginning of this episode, Sprigatito was more off to the side while they were getting all Liko's attention. I think that just adds to this fear, because Sprigatito could easily get replaced by Terrapagos or Hatena. But I really like the scene where Sprigatito walks off after Liko hears this, and Liko just chases after it and tries her best to make up with Sprigatito. And we see a scene where Sprigatito realizes Liko won't betray her and decide to stay by her side. That's when Hatena and Terrapagos get captured by the same Spidops that caused all of Sprigatito's problems in the past. So Liko and Sprigatito step in to fight it, and we actually see Sprigatito use Leafage, but it's not a Leafage, it's actually Magical Leaf. Now, I do think it's interesting that it looks the exact same. So, I swear, if they just start calling it Leafage and it's the Magical Leaf, please don't do that. Please have it use Magical Leaf and it could look the exact same. It already looks the same. We wouldn't even know. It could have been Magical Leaf the whole time and we didn't know. But yeah, it was then the daycare attendant says goodbye to Liko, and Liko and Roy have another fight where Liko beats Roy. Yep, after all this time of Roy getting all these new moves, development, and training episodes, Liko beats him with relative ease, even having the type advantage. I'm sorry, but what? I like the idea of Liko being stronger, but we have not seen enough development for her, as a trainer-wise, to be stronger. Hell, wasn't there an episode where she was outclassing Roy strategy-wise, just for her to say, oh no, I don't want to get in Roy's way? Where I like that she doesn't do that anymore, but like, what? You believe to tell me after all of his training, Roy is never still weaker than Liko? Yet he's gonna be the one fighting Rayquaza? Oh, please. I'm sorry. But overall, I really like this episode. I feel like this episode has been needed for a long time. As you can tell by my last couple of videos where it's like, oh, Liko and Roy aren't strong. Roy gets stronger. Liko's still weak. That, like, it's coming to a point in Horizons that I believe that they should be way stronger than where they are. And this episode just shows that, like, solves that problem. Kind of. I feel like we're at a point where they should at least have each one more Pokemon, and one Pokemon has evolved. But I can also excuse where they are at this point, because there's been a lot of, like, legitimate plot compared to an Ash series, where at the point we are in an Ash series, he would have already been to, like, a couple gyms, depending on the region, of course, because, like, a region where it's like, oh, a 3-year series, he would have been on, like, third gym, compared to something like Kanto, where he was already on, like, I think past the 6th gym at this point. So yeah, but I really liked Sprigatito's origins, and the daycare lady seemed like a really nice character, and I liked her conversation with Liko. I also really like Liko's design in the episode. Please give her gloves. It's gonna be so cool if she had a glove. She looks so good with it on. Please, like, just give her a glove. But yeah, and Sprigatito, yet again, and Liko spawned. Liko is literally my favorite character in Horizons, besides Nimona, but Nimona is not a main character, and my love for Nimona is more off her game. So yeah, I love to see Liko getting this kind of development, and I want more episodes of Liko, because I feel like Liko just goes to the background too much. She's one of the co-leads, but like a lot of episodes, excluding some fillers, obviously, because like, yeah, it's filler episodes, they don't really need a lead. In the like last like 20ish episodes focused on Void developing, while Liko, she had her goal and caught Hatena and had like little episodes where she would like perform her goal with the Lapras in the household. But I feel like we need like an episode with Liko and Sprigatito finally like resolving this like slight just like conflict they keep getting into. Like every couple episodes I feel like Sprigatito and Liko are in like a conflict. Like it was in the Kaboo episode where like Sprigatito felt betrayed. Then in that first Terrapagos episode where it felt like Terrapagos was getting too much attention. And then like this episode where it's like it's scared that Liko's gonna abandon it. But yeah, I really like that Liko's finally getting development as a trainer and not just towards the goal. Even though that is good, I feel like an episode like this should have happened. I don't know how you could have done it though. That's the thing. An episode like this should have happened the first time they were in Paldea. But like on the other hand, how do you like have something like this happen? Because like a lot of factors played into it, like Roy getting stronger and like leading Liko to a point where she had to like do the strategy that almost hurt Hatena and Terrapagos. And if you did this the first time they were in Paldea, Terrapagos and Hatena weren't even around to the point they were yet. So like, how would you do this earlier? But on the other hand, it should have happened early. But yeah, overall, I really like this episode. I hope we get more episodes like this in the future. I would really like an episode exploring how Fuecoco got on top of the Rising Volt Capital's ship. Same thing with Quaxley, because now that we know Sprigatito's origins, I'd like to know Fuecoco and Quaxley's, and maybe some of the other Pokemon on the ship. Like, we know Freed's origins with the captain, but why don't we see an episode of Freed with Charizard? Episode with Murdoch and Rockruff, because we know his origins without Creamy. But yeah, I'll give this episode 8 out of 10. Please let these last two episodes being massive improvements over the last couple be a shift to where Horizons is going for the game. Hope you guys like this video and subscribe for more content like this in the future. S-Man signing off.
Look, Lil Dishy on the beat. Lil Dishy about to speak. Damn, Lil Dishy.
I can be lazy too. Look at me.
Lil Dishy making bank, counting all these racks. Running back for years, yeah, my name all in your facts. Know some politicians, yeah, I never pay a tax. If I catch that kid, I'ma put him in a pack. Hit him with this pole like I'm defense playing lax. Dump him in the trash like a lineman getting sacked. Open up the safe, you know it's filled with stacks. They saying that I peaked, we ain't even at the max.